Meeting of the City Council come to order. Clerk, call the roll.
Counsel Della Sola. Here. Counsel DeFlorio. Here. Counsel Hanlon.
Here.
Counsel Mangan. Counsel Marquez.
Here.
Counsel McKinnon.
Here.
Counsel Napolitano.
Here.
Counsel Sachetta. Counsel Sani.
Here.
Counsel Simonelli. Counsel Capone.
Yep.
8 members present, Mr. President.
8 members present. You have a quorum. Please stand and salute the flag. If you could please remain standing, we have some folks we lost from a moment of silence. Patrick Del Vecchio, formerly of Everett, was the brother of the late Chicky Lattarelli, well-known in the city, former council on aging. Yvonne Vaca Scapacci, Rose Trunfio Stetson, Phyllis Falvey was the wife of the late Jake Falvey, and Mary Rossi, all of them with very large families in the city, many contributions over the years. So we could please just have a moment of silence for them. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She was in the 80s. Yeah. Before the clerk reads the first item of business, we have a couple of notices. Councilor Sachetta will not be here due to illness, and Councilor Simonelli as well will not be here. He's recovering. Hopefully we'll be seeing him soon. And I'd like to take this opportunity on behalf of the council to thank the men and women of the Everett Fire and Police Department and the surrounding communities that helped to address that issue on Christmas Day down in the Summer Street area. Because of their hard work and effort, they kept everybody safe, and a potentially volatile situation was handled relatively easily. So we'd like to thank them. Clerk will read the first item of business.
First item of business, Mr. President, is public participation.
Motion to open public participation.
Second.
It's moved and second to open public participation. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? If so moved. Is there anyone on the signing list?
No, Mr. President.
Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak during the public participation portion? Seeing none?
Make a motion to close public
It's
participation.
been moved and second to close public participation. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? You have so closed. Clerk will read item number 1.
Miss-
Item number 1, Mr. President, is an order sponsored by Council Frank Capone as President. The sum of $4,920 will be transferred from the city clerk's salary account into the city clerk's equipment maintenance account. This transfers to purchase a web-based agenda management program.
Chair will entertain a motion to suspend Rule 13.
Make a motion.
Moved and second to suspend Rule 13. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Suspended Rule 13. On the piece, Council DeFlorio.
Is this the piece that has to go to committee, or is it something we can vote on? Only because it's got to do with money in the
Yeah.
new charter, and if it does have to be voted on again, we have a little problem, because this is the end of our session, and then we have to start a new session in January.
Yeah, where it's,
So-
where it's a transfer within the same department, I think it's permissible. I'll
Okay.
defer to the clerk,
Yes.
and if anyone has any different opinion, but
If it's permissible, then I make a motion for favorable action on the order.
it's moved and second for favorable action. Clerk, call the roll.
Counsel Della Sola.
Yes.
Counsel DeFlorio.
Yes.
Counsel Hanlon. Yes. Counsel Marquez.
Yes.
Counsel McKinnon.
Yes.
Counsel Napolitano.
Here. Yes.
Counsel Sani.
Yes.
Counsel Capone.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays, Mr. President.
8 yeas, 0 nays, you've passed the order. Clerk will read the next item of business, item number
Miss-
2.
Item number 2 is petition for a second-class motor dealer license from Michael Guglielmi, DBA Circle Auto Body, 26 Thorndike Street. It is a renewal.
Favorable action on the order?
It's moved and second for favorable action. Clerk, call the roll.
Counsel Della Sola.
Yes.
Counsel DeFlorio.
Yes.
Counsel Hanlon. Counsel Marquez.
Yes.
Counsel McKinnon.
Yes.
Counsel Napolitano.
Yes.
Counsel Sani.
Yes.
Counsel Capone.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays, Mr. President.
8 yeas, 0 nays, you've passed the petition.
Mr. President, can we take items
Counselor.
3, 4,
Collectively.
5, and 6 collectively? They're all petitions.
They're all
so-
renewals.
Yeah,
They're all
That's the will of the
renewals,
body. It's been moved to suspend the rules, and take items 3, 4, 5, and 6 collectively. Is there a second on that?
Second.
All papers
Favorable
in order.
action.
Through you, Mr. Chairman.
Is
All
it moved and
papers,
second, Counsel Hanlon?
yes.
All
All papers in
order?
order.
Yes.
All papers are in order.
Favorable action.
Okay. Clerk will call the roll.
Item number 3 is second-class motor dealer
Yeah,
license,
I think
Mahmood.
we have to, I have to group them out. So it's moved and second to take them collectively. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now we'll have them right. Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Petition for second-class motor dealer license, Mahmood Al-Magid, DBA Ferry Street Service, 464 Ferry Street. Second-class license, Stadium Auto Sales, 35 Everett Ave. Lodging house license, Dr. Thomas Ryan, DBA Pope John 23rd High School, 888 Broadway. And Redemption Center license, Lee Redemption Center at 74 Spring Street.
It's been moved and second favorable action on the pieces as read. Clerk call the roll.
Counsel Delasola.
Yes.
Counsel DeFlorio.
Yes.
Counsel Hanlon.
Yes.
Counsel Marquez.
Yes.
Counsel McKinnon.
Yes.
Counsel Napolitano.
Yes.
Counsel Sani.
Yes.
Counsel Capone.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays, Mr. President.
8 yeas, 0 nays, you have granted the various petitions. Clerk will read the next item of business, item number 7.
Item number 7 is Committee on Community and Business Development report on a petition for a second-class motor deal license for Marco Serino, DBA GM Auto Sales Incorporated, 152 Ferry Street.
Accept the committee report and place on file in favorable action.
It's been moved and second to accept the committee, is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second to accept the committee report, place on file, and move for favorable action. Clerk will call the
Mr.
roll.
Chairman, on the motion.
Councilman Hanlon.
Just make sure that it reflects that it's a 6-month period only.
Mr. Clerk, do you have that?
Just to them, yes?
So the committee report was to come back with 6 months?
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
Counselor?
Yeah, if I may, these license renewals, these are for 2016, right?
Yes.
Okay. And they'll have to come back up after.
Right.
Okay.
Counsel Delasola.
Yes.
Counsel DeFlorio.
Yes.
Counsel Hanlon.
Yes.
Counsel Marquez.
Yes.
Counsel McKinnon.
Yes.
Counsel Napolitano.
Yes.
Counsel Sani.
Yes.
Counsel Capone.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays, Mr. President.
8 yeas, 0 nays, you have accepted. I see in the audience former Councilor William Cadello, so hello and welcome for being here. I also see Councilor-elect Anthony DePiero. If you would like to join us in the, you're good where you are? Okay. I wanted to acknowledge your presence. Thank you very much for being here, gentlemen. Clerk,
Item
read the next
number
item.
8 is an order sponsored by Council Fred Capone, President, Committee on Community Business Development, report on a petition for a second-class motor deal license for Marco Zazzarino, DBA GM Auto Sales, 152 Ferry.
No. Already read that one.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. I'm the opposite. Committee on Community Business Development, report on petition for motor deal license from Abraham L. Rahane, DBA Regal Auto Sales Incorporated, 21 Everett Ave.
Accept the committee report.
Place on file and favorable action on the order.
Second.
Okay. It's been
As
moved.
amended in the committee.
It's been moved and second to accept the committee report, place on file as amended in committee on the fees. Council?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. So moved and second favorable
Counsel-
action. Clerk call the roll.
Counsel Delasola.
Yes.
Counsel DeFlorio.
Yes.
Counsel Hanlon.
Yes.
Counsel Marquez.
Yes.
Counsel McKinney.
Yes.
Counsel Napolitano.
Yes.
Counsel Sani.
Yes.
Counsel Capone.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays, Mr. President.
8 yeas, 0 nays, you've granted the license. Clerk, read- yeah.
Excuse me,
Counsel.
can I ask a question regarding number 8? Is there any limitations on signage there, or what will be there on that
I'll defer to the
huge sign coming
Is there
down?
anything in that?
I don't know, I know what you
That's
mean,
the
that big
location.
sign that's there
Yeah,
now.
what will that be used for? Will it be a billboard? You know, that's the entranceway in Everett. That's what
Right, we
we're-
can't have a billboard.
If we'd like to reconsider it, we do have the attorney here and the petitioners to ask that question. So I would have to make a motion to reconsider item
Make a
number
motion to
8.
reconsider number 8 if we
I'll
could.
second that,
It's
okay.
been moved and second to reconsider item number 8.
Yeah.
Clerk call the roll.
Counsel Delasola.
Yes.
Counsel DeFlorio.
Yes.
Counsel Hanlon.
Yes.
Counsel Marquez.
Yes.
Counsel McKinnon.
Yes.
Counsel Napolitano.
Yes.
Counsel Sani. Counsel Capone.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays. Mr.
8
President.
yeas, 0 nays. Item 8 is before you.
Motion to
Counsel
have
Marquez?
Attorney O'Neill before us.
Is there a second? Second. Moved and second to have Attorney O'Neill and the petitioners before us. Richard, yeah. Counsel Marquez, you have the floor. If you could, for the record, just introduce yourselves, please.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board. My name is Richard O'Neill. I'm an attorney here with offices at 391 Broadway. And I'm with my clients tonight, John and Abraham El Rahani, who have been operating the Regal Auto Services for about 13 years.
Thank you very much. Counsel Marquez.
Rich, I wasn't at the meeting. How many cars is this for in that location?
Based on the calculations that we've done, Mike, and it's all required by, it's all mandated according to the ordinances within the community. We have to set aside a certain number for customer parking, a certain number for employees. And then we also have some setback requirements, side yard requirements. We're gonna remove a portion of the building. We think that based on the calculations, through the building department, that we could have approximately 25 cars at the most for sale. And again, but that will be controlled by the calculations done by the building department, inspectional services.
And what is the, for the sign that's on the corner, will that be lit up? Will it be, I mean, what, will it be, what kind of sign will be there? Will it be, a normal auto sales sign? You know, it's because it is on the entranceway coming into Everett, which,
I'm sensitive to it. I
I'm
understand.
not
Yep.
really privy on you seeing a car lot there, I gotta tell you the truth, but since I'm out here in a couple of days, you gotta live with it, I don't. So, it's a big sign, so I mean, I just hope that you put some restrictions and think about this before you approve this. Like I said, if things are coming to the city, I don't think you wanna see some kind of 30, 40-foot sign with a lit up banner with car signs. That's just my take. I mean, I wish it was all like it will, but I mean, I don't see it, but my,
If I can address that. And I'd heard a mention a few moments ago about a billboard. This is not a billboard. There is an existing sign there.
Yes.
And the sign, and it is grandfathered in. They cannot illuminate it any more than it's already illuminated. But I will tell you, they are not coming to the city. They are in the city. They've been in the city for 13 years, and they have been compliant. In fact, we have the city clerk and the assistant clerk here. There've been no complaints about it from inspectional services or anybody. They've been very respectful, good neighbors. And then again, I mean, I don't know how, other than representing.
They're in Everett,
They're not gonna turn the thing into
where in Everett are they presently?
They are right on the corner of, they're right on Larry White's property, down on the Parkway.
You mean that little lot that's to the left there?
Exactly.
And what's going on there, is it?
A small used car lot, and that's exactly what this is. And that is going to be abandoned, and this license is simply going to be relocated, and they're buying the property.
Yep.
And they run a clean operation. And this, again, the signage will not increase. It's not going
All
to.
right.
And I'm sensitive to it, Mike, too.
Yeah, I'm just looking down the road a little bit. I mean, I'm not gonna begrudge anybody for making a living, and I'm not the type of person, but just sometimes, just to see us restrict a little bit of what we're putting on there. But, I mean, as long as the sign is toned down appropriate, I don't have a problem with
Yeah,
it.
and the city's implemented some signs. There's not going to be, you've got the prohibition against flashing and moving items. You can't have moving messages without approval of the licensing board and the building inspector. So you folks have got pretty good control over it. And the sign that's there now is an antiquated sign. It'll be cleaned up, but they cannot turn it into some loud, gaudy
All right.
Vegas sign.
I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied.
Counselor Delasola.
The building that's there now, you said you're gonna knock a piece of it, take a part of it down? So you're gonna have the cars in the front of that building?
Yes.
There'll be 25 cars in front?
No, on the entire property. And again, there'll have to be, the ordinances are pretty clear in terms of what you need in terms of the size of a space and how it's going to be laid on the property in terms of, again, side yard, rear yard setbacks, et cetera. If you look at the building now, I'm sure I should have a photograph of it, but there's a refrigeration unit that's on the side of it. And then there's an addition that was put on. It's not the best looking building.
Right.
The Elrahanis are buying it, they're paying a fair price for the property. They're going to clean it up, they're going to reconfigure it, they're going to dress up the building, and again, be sensitive to some of the, we're going to keep it as professional looking as possible. And the city also does control the flags and, the banners that are out there. So
Right.
over time, the licensing or the signage requirements at Everett have evolved, and they are more stringent, and if they're enforced, it's good for everybody in the community, including my client's business.
Absolutely. I'm just worried about the cars coming from the Parkway to get into his lot
There'll be
of the main entrance. They'll be able to get in with no problem?
There are curb cuts there, and the curb cuts cannot be disturbed. In order for them to relocate or change the curb cuts, they've got to go through Mass Highway, and there's no intention of doing that. And again, the city ordinances will determine and control. You cannot can't park cars by the curb cuts.
I think it'll be fine. I mean, we have no problems. You've been there 13 years across the street. Never had an issue with them, so
Yep.
I'm in favor.
Any other
Mr.
questions?
Del Sol.
Counselor DeFlorio.
I don't have any other questions, but I just want to let everybody know that we gave them the license based on the building inspector and the fire inspector approving their plans for the property. So that's what happened in committee. So,
There's going to be significant modification to the building. It's going to require occupancy and fire inspection, et cetera. But, you know, the critical aspect for my client is to have the license approved so that he can run his business there, so that he can complete the purchase and then start the groundwork.
Okay. Any other questions of our guests?
excuse with the customary
Seeing
thanks.
none?
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
And
Thank you,
favorable
Mr.
action on the
President.
order.
Second,
And good luck, Mr. President and members.
It's been moved and second, favorable action. Clerk, call the roll.
Counsel Delasola.
Yes.
Counsel DeFlorio.
Yes.
Counsel Hanlon. Counsel Marquez.
yes.
Counsel McKinnon.
Yes.
Counsel Napolitano.
Yes.
Counsel Sani.
Yes.
Counsel Capone.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays, Mr.
8
President.
yeas, 0 nays, you've granted the license. Good luck. Clerk will read the next item, item number 9.
Item number 9 is an order sponsored by Counsel Frank Capone as President to transfer $831,601 from the budgetary fund balance to Inspectional Services Contracted Services account.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. Chairman, I do have a sign-in sheet, and unfortunately, I did not call it earlier, so if we could take item
It's
number
not a
9
large
and
calendar,
10.
so that'll work, so.
We could take items number 9 and 10 consecutive.
There's only
And-
one left after
Yeah.
this 10.
Council
So-
Marquez,
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
what
I'm
is this
sorry.
money for?
well, I think last
If you-
meeting,
yeah.
you want to recap it, Mike?
Yeah, I think so. I hope I can do it correctly, but if you recall, at the last meeting, they were saying that, I believe these inspectional services, this is for a private firm to do the licensing, inspections and licensing for the
Oh, it's
casino
for
project.
Okay.
And we get reimbursed from the casino on this.
Favorable action,
Second that motion.
Moved in second, favorable action. Clerk, call the roll.
Counsel Delasola.
Yes.
Counsel DeFlorio.
Yes.
Counsel Hanlon.
Yes.
Counsel Marquez.
yes.
Counsel McKinnon.
Yes.
Counsel Napolitano.
Yes.
Counsel Sani.
Yes.
Counsel Capone.
Yes.
8 yeas, 0 nays, Mr.
8
President.
yeas, 0 nays, you've passed the order. Clerk will read the next item, item number 10.
Item number 10 is a resolution sponsored by Council Peter A. Napolitano. The city auditor provides city council the last meeting in December, a comprehensive breakdown of all costs, including salaries and reimbursements to the city of Everett related to the recent trip by the administration and other representatives of the city to Italy this past summer.
Council Napolitano.
Thank you. We didn't receive any written report, but I do see the city auditor here. If we could invite him up.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second to have the city auditor before us. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You have so moved. Mr. Auditor, welcome. If you could, just for the record, please identify yourself.
Good evening, Eric Demus, City Auditor.
Council Napolitano?
Yes. Just wanted to, what we asked for was a comprehensive breakdown. Do you have one?
I do.
basically? Normally, something like this, I would have referred to committee, but seeing as it's our last meeting for the year, we'd like to just be able to have some time to absorb it.
Six times.
It's already higher. It's almost 9,000, it's almost $9,000 more. All right, just a quick question for you, because I appreciate you taking the time to put this together for us. I mean, the last report we got was that first of all, is there any other expenses still coming through that haven't been either, where employees haven't been reimbursed, or are there other costs related to this trip?
Not to my knowledge. What I did to compile this information for you was working with staff within my office. We reviewed all of the expenditure ledgers. In addition to that, we also contacted the mayor's office to verify everything that we located throughout the accounting records to determine if there was anything in addition that we hadn't yet identified. And through those inquiries and our review of the city's records, this is the list that I put together. And I broke it out between actual expenditures that we paid to vendors for various services. There is a reimbursement included in there. It's item number 2. And then I also included the salaries for the city officials that attended the trip.
Where would we find airfare? Who paid for the airfare for our representatives to go overseas?
What I can tell you is that the city did not pay any airfare for any of the individuals. My understanding, and it is only my understanding, is that each of the individuals paid for their own airfare.
only other question I have is that we did receive a communication indicated that the total cost of the city was $16,000, and now the total cost here is $25,000. Do you have any idea? Were you aware of the $16,000 figure the council was given 2 months ago?
I am not. I don't know where the $16,000 came from. Again, what I can tell you is that when the council posed the question to me, I did my due diligence and tried to find any expenses related to that trip so that I could report back to the council.
All right, I appreciate that. This is what I was looking for. And again, I want to do some comparatives to the information we were given prior to this. So I appreciate you putting this together. And like I said, I don't expect to have those answers at this moment. So I have no further questions.
Councilor Marquez.
Yes, you said that, so the flights and the hotel rooms were paid by the individuals here?
That's my understanding. I wasn't in.
Were they paid in a group check, or was there one check, everybody paid their own check?
I could not answer that as to how those transactions were paid for. What I can tell you is that they were not paid with city funds and were not included in the city's accounting records. So how those individuals would have paid those expenses, I'm not privy to that knowledge.
I'm not here for next year's, but this stinks, so you do what you're gonna do. But I would ask for at least the receipts. Everybody had to pay for these trips. If the trips were paid for by 2 weeks paid vacation, I'm not sure how to read into this. I don't know where you wanna go with this.
Do we have any other questions before we have any debate on the floor? Do we have any questions for the guest?
I don't.
All set. Any other questions, councilors? Council McKinnon.
There was a letter that was sent out to us in July from the corner office stating that airfare and moderate expenses was going to be paid for by the city. Are you aware of that letter?
I am not.
Okay. I don't anticipate you would be because you were not here for that. So I think that we may have to look into this a little bit further just to find out what the basis of that letter was for. Because we're not seeing it. I understand where my colleague's going on it. We're not seeing it here in this report. And, you know, due diligence on your behalf of what you've brought forward to us, it's a great thing. But that letter that we had from the corner office basically said it was going to be anticipating airfare and moderate expenses. So whatever that was.
Yep.
We don't know. That's why we were asking, but we still don't know.
Sure.
Thank you for,
Yeah.
you know, bringing this forward. This was a great piece, but we'd like to find that out additionally, I would think. Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you
Excuse
very
the
much.
customary thanks.
What's your pleasure in the peace, Councilor?
On the piece, you know, the reason this has come to this point,
You're all set, thank you.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
the reason, I just want to make it clear, the reason for this, to come to this point is that shortly after the trip to Italy, the city council asked for a report. That's normal course of business. Give us an update, you're out representing the city of Everett, give us a report. The administration resisted coming up here to provide us a report. We've got a report in writing, and these figures and those figures don't quite jibe. And then on top of that, you know, of course, we throw in the news report, which went to a little more depth. So this is not something that can be simply addressed at this point now, because it's been basically a snowball. It's become bigger than it should have been. Had we just got a simple report, understood what the reasoning was, what each person did, what the purpose of, what the benefit of the city was, then I don't think we'd have any issues. But this has become a little bit more than that at this point. So at this point, this being our last session, this isn't something that we can carry over at this point. So what I'm just going to refer this back to sponsor, and you know, we'll take unless we'll get together and determine how we'll address this after the first of the year in the next session. But I do want to thank the city auditor for providing us with this detail.
Thank you, Councilor. There's a second on that? Second. Moving second, refer back to sponsor.
there's a
Before we
motion.
debate on the piece, Councilor Marquez.
Yes, that was why I made the comments, because we did know there was $18,000 that was spent there, whatever, and, you know, even that was too cheap to stay any place for 10 days, you know, that were 10 people, whatever, went there. I mean, I think, I don't know if it's going too far to asking for checks that may have been written out, pay for this trip, or some credit card things. I don't know if it's investigation and you go that far on, but like I said, it's your hands. So it only goes as far as you want to take it. So, I mean, it's very inconclusive. And if it's still here in hopefully 2 years, I'll try to get back here.
Counselor
Through the
Paul.
chair, if I could just
Sure.
respond to that. You know, the thing is, because the city officer has to reimburse people with receipts and all that, I don't believe that's what we're calling into question. It's just that there's holes here. You know, who paid for the airfare? The city hasn't, so who did? The letter correspondence we received indicated that the city was, so there's a discrepancy. You know, there's other things. There was a comment made by the administration on television about accommodations in Italy, about, well, you know, we can't really, you know, if they offer it to us, what can we say? You know, how can we turn it down? Well, you're required to turn it down, and I'm not gonna get in the middle of that, but I wanna know what, you know, what the costs were for, you know, for the stay, for the 10 days that they were in Italy. And I don't see anything on here. I see amounts, salary, and I see a handful of payables. But it doesn't tell me how they got there and who paid for it. It doesn't tell me where they stayed, who paid for it, how they were fed, especially when, in light of a news report indicating that, you know, calling some of these actions a question. You know, we want our city to be unquestionable. And that's the whole reason for having reports and coming before us and keeping everybody informed. So these things don't fester into something different. Because it's not it's not the truth that people believe, it's what they believe to be the truth that they believe. And that's the problem here. Let's get the facts, let's find out what's actually going on here. Let's find out what the benefit to the city was, and let's move on with this. We've been forced to spend entirely way too much time in the last 6 months trying to get any information on this, and all that's really required is an appearance. So, you know, again, having said that, my motion would be to refer this back to sponsor.
It's been moved and seconded to refer item number 10 back to sponsor. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You have so referred. Clerk, read the next item, item number 11.
Item number 11 is the presentation of outgoing President, Council Fred Capone, by Senior Member, Council Leo McKinnon.
Peter, the problem is, you can't accept anything over $50 for being a public official anyhow. So this is-
Very nice, huh, Fred?
Yeah, okay. There's about 20,000, 30,000 on account with.
Well,
and nobody has
this
a
is
check on
a
those.
traditional piece for us. We normally come up and make presentation of the plaque, the outgoing president. I want to say a few things on that to Councilor Capone. I believe that he did a great job this year. He handled himself well within the chair. Didn't have to use the gavel as many times as I thought he would have to do. It was very, very proper in the way that he ran the meetings, respectful to all the members. The members actually imply that by being respectful back to him. It was a great year. We went over a lot of ground. We made a lot of accomplishments, and I wanted to thank you personally for that, Mr. President. And it was an honor and a privilege to serve under you as our president. And I know that our colleagues feel the same way. And they gave a small token, too, as well, in a greeting card form. So I'll present that with you as well at the end of it. But I'd like to read this, the plaque that we're going to present. And let me get it right here. To President Fred Capone, has served the City Council for the year 2015, and whereas in his performance of the duties as president, he has ever been actuated by a spirit of fairness and a desire to maintain harmonious relationships between himself and the members, and whereas his effort and the direction have won for him the respect and goodwill of his fellow members, thereby enabling him at all times to maintain the dignity of his office. Therefore, it be resolved that in full recognition of his valued service, this testimonial be presented to Fred Capone. Thank you, Fred.
Thank you, everybody.
Another small token from the council.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Oh, thank you, please. Thank you, Leo. I appreciate that. And let me tell you, it's not easy to read through cellophane, so he did a really good job. It's,
Years experience.
that's a beautiful plaque. I've got one from when I was on the council back in, I think, '94, and this is really sharp, so I really appreciate it. I just want to thank all of you for the honor of serving as president. I'll tell you, it's always an honor to serve as chair or president of any body, but when we were embarking upon new territory in the first term under unicameral legislation system, it means that much more to me. It was an honor. It was a privilege. All of you took it easy on me. Nobody out here gave me a hard time, so I do appreciate that. I think we got a lot accomplished. I'd like to think, when you know in your capacity as a counselor, you rely on our support staff, and it's even double that when you're on the chair. So I'd like to thank our city clerk, our clerk of committees, Caroline, our assistant city clerk, because they have been instrumental in everything. I think they do deserve a round of applause. So I want to quickly just introduce my beautiful wife, Michelle. Look at those glowing faces of my children. So happy to be here. My daughter, Gabby, and my son, Zach. So I thank you for the opportunity to sit in that chair. I thank the people of Everett for giving me the opportunity to serve in this chamber. And I thank my family for allowing me to spend as much time giving to the community as we do. So all of you, thank you very much, and it has been a tremendous honor. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. We have two presentations, and then we'll take a whole bunch of pictures. And I know you're dying to take pictures, Gabby. I can see it. So the first one, I have a presentation to outgoing Councilor Cynthia Sani. So we could please have Councilor Sani come before us. This is a citation given from the entire body. It's in recognition of your 10 years, did we get that right? Of dedicated service to the City Council and to the City of Everett. You have always brought compassion to the chamber. I know that you have served your constituents well. Your presence in the chamber will be missed next year, but on behalf of the city, on behalf of the City Council, we thank you for everything you have done, and we'd like to present this to you. And if you'd like to say a few words.
I would like to thank my constituents and my family and friends for supporting me for the last 10 years. I would also like to thank the mayor's office and all his associates and staff members that have served and worked with me and accomplished the things I needed to get done in the last 10 years. I want to thank my counselors for supporting me in all my issues, the council president for working with us and showing me some educated answers and working together. I'm saddened to leave, but I am trying to stay working with the city, hopefully, and continue to support the people in the community. Thank you.
Next citation we have is for Councilor Marchese. Mike, this is in recognition of, we have your some 18 years. Did we get that right?
Yep, 18.
You've been here a long time. Your reputation is to ask the tough questions, to stand up for the people of Everett. Everybody out there knew that you always had their best interests at heart. You brought courage to the council to ask those tough questions on occasion, and your presence will be missed next year as well. It's been a pleasure to serve with you. And on behalf of the City Council, we would like to present this citation to you, thanking you for your 18 years plus of service to the community.
Thank you very much. Like I said, 18 years, and year with Mayor Hanlon. I've been around for a long time. It's been an honor to serve the people of Everett. And you know, I'm the type of person that likes the truth, I don't like the bull, and that's the way you should be. We work for the people of the city of Everett, and I hope the new people know that they work for the people, not for the city government down the corner. So I just hope that this group here has a great 2 years. There's a lot going on in the city of Everett, and I'll be impressed. I'm going to be around. I'm not going anywhere. Don't be surprised, but you'll see me again. And I thank you, and Everett, I love you. Thank you for your support. Thank you.
All right, I believe that was the last piece on the
Make
council.
a motion
We'll-
to adjourn?
It's been moved and second to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? You have adjourned.